if they put it, you know what I mean? Um, Brand was not necessarily uh, a test for Kovalev or like a measuring stick for Kovalev. I want you guys to know that right now. You know, Brand is not a measuring stick for Kovalev. I know some of you guys like, how the F is he supposed to fight Brand? And that's supposed to be able to determine what he's going to do against Kovalev. No, that has nothing to do with that. Like I said, some people don't ever put on gloves, don't ever fight. They have no idea. Okay. This is a fight for him to get in there with a smart guy. Okay. To test his intelligence with a game guy, a veteran guy who knows how to fight, who's been in there in the amateurs, played for a lot of good guys in amateurs, right? And for a lot of good guys as a pro, okay, or okay guys as a pro. And this was for Ward to get in a good 12 rounds, okay, a good 12 rounds with a guy that moves and punches, and he punches and he goes for it, okay. That's all this was. So if you thought that that was a measuring stick for Kovalev, you are a couple steps behind the Ward camp, and that's a mistake that everybody makes. And that's because you know how they say you know nothing about boxing, the Furies say you know nothing about boxing, like the Floyd Mayweather say you know nothing about boxing. Well, I'm saying it. You know nothing about boxing. All right. The measuring stick for Kovalev, he's already past those guys already. You know those guys with the Kesslers, the the Koffaches, the Edwin Rodriguez, Chad Dawson, the big six guys. You know what I'm saying? There's a couple other guys, a couple other names I can name too. But also Barrera. Barrera was more of a measuring stick than anything. You know that third round knockdown was enough for me. You know I didn't have to see a knockout that for that was enough for me. You know that was enough for me. And Brand is too tricky. I know you guys probably think Brand's tricky. Brand was swinging. Brand was swinging for the knockout, guys. I don't know if you guys realize that. You know he's trying to knock Ward out. Uh, but this was not a measuring stick. This is for sharpening Andre Ward's sights, his senses, his hearing, his footwork, his punch volume, his range, his defense. That's what this was all about. So for some of you guys that are like, oh, there's gonna be a problem when he fights Kovalev. No, there's not gonna be a problem. No, he's gonna be more in shape. He knows how his body feels. Uh, he knows what he can do. You know, the one thing I do want to say is that I don't want any logos in the middle of the ring at all in the Kovalev fight. But we'll get to that in my prediction video. We'll get to that in my prediction video. Um, Ward should have knocked this guy out. Ward could have knocked this guy out. But Ward would have knocked this guy out if he wasn't as good as I'm saying he was, as good as the Ward camp was saying he was. So it wasn't that easy to knock out Alexander Brand. And as you can see, let's go check out Brand's record. Before I say this right here, he has not been knocked out. You see, zero KO losses. So he has not been knocked out. You understand what I'm saying? So Brand is not that easy to knock out. And his KO rating is still 70%. You know, and this is a good fighter. He's a good fighter. What did he lose to? Badu Jack, who's a world champion right now, WBC champion. All right. And Andre Ward, who's undefeated, considered the best pound for pound fighter, one of the best pound for pound fighters of all time. Brand's value went up after this fight, believe it or not. It went up after this fight. You might see this guy fighting Lucian Bute or Felix Stern. You might see this guy in a big fight real soon. Remember, I said it. Remember, I said it. All right. The UFC is calling me. But before I get to that, Sergey Kovalev has a lot to lose and a lot to gain with this fight right here against Andre Ward. and so does Andre Ward. This fight with these guys who are both 30-0. All right, it's gonna be one of those fights that I'll never forget. I can just tell right now that that it's gonna be it. In the end, there can only be one, and that one will be crowned on November 19th, 2016. There will be a one. There will be, and now we'll have the breaking news here. Shout out to Don Juan. I will have the breaking news here. Um, Now to the thing in the background. I had no idea it was. Commercials, commercials. All right. Yeah, Rodriguez absolutely, completely made a statement this night. All right. He made a statement this night. When he beat Caceres, the way he did it, all right, was good. And Caceres is a guy who fights very well. So you can't really say that this is a fight like you know, that the other guy got dominated. No, there was no real domination in this fight. They got a little bit, but there was no real domination in this fight. This was an action-packed fight brought to you by the UFC. Shout out to Dana White and everybody over there doing their thing, make it extremely exciting for us to have something to watch. And this, you know, seeing Caceres is be the main event. You know what I'm saying? Be the main event, and you gotta say you guys gotta salute Dana White and the UFC for that. Like you gotta clap for that. This was a real good fight. All right, 5 round fight. The first 3 rounds I gave it to Rodriguez with ease. Actually, no, the first round I gave it to Caceres. The next two, 3 rounds I gave it to Rodriguez, and definitely Caceres probably like the last round really. But Rodriguez had 4 rounds in my eyes, 4 rounds. You know what I'm saying? He won 4 rounds in my eyes. You know what I'm saying? Against Caceres, for sure. Maybe not everybody else's eyes. Um, Rodriguez is a guy who usually utilizes his mixed martial arts abilities very well. Okay, and to make a long story short, right? Because I'm gonna finish the stream soon because the boxing voice is gonna come on soon. So you guys check out the boxing voice. Um, I like to be there early, have all my stuff ready for that. So I'm gonna finish this out real quick. Don't forget to check out Shady Slim. Check out Mr. Boxing Today. Let me give up my shout outs real quick. The Thunderdome Boxing, Travis Gotti Boxing, Precise Presenter, 7-8 Sports TV, who is the king of boxing, Boxing Ego, uh, Dante's Boxing Nation. These guys are pretty good. UFC MMA, MMA Nation, UFC channel, Fancy. There's a couple of UFC channels that I watch actually. Too many to name. But back to this. This was such a close fight that the judges had a split decision. But the reason why they had it as a close fight is because the type of moves that were happening. You know what I'm saying? But in my eyes, it wasn't that close. You know what I'm saying? Because I like, you know, Rodriguez, so I don't want to be too like biased, too biased here. But I like Caceres too. Rodriguez's record, he only has one loss in his record. So to beat a guy like this and be the main event, and to beat him in such a manner where I felt like he won 4 rounds and dominated, is a good thing. Let's go on to the next one because I got to be quick now. I'm realizing the time. I was supposed to do this at 5 o'clock Eastern time. I don't know what time it is for everybody else. Let me check something to see who's here. I haven't checked to see who's here. Am I slurring? Am I saying the right thing? Let's see who's here. Well, no guess right now. All right. Now we're gonna go to Dennis Bermudez. Unanimous decision, 3 rounds. A good victory. Um, Bermudez absolutely pounded Ronnie Jason for 3 rounds. I think the judges had it 30-27 or 30-26 across the whole board, from what I remember. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But this right here, I'm not gonna say it was a mismatch. It was just an absolute schooling. Absolute schooling. And you can see by his face, like it was a schooling. We're gonna be quick about this now, guys. Oh yeah, rear naked choke. I think it was the third round. Am I right? Am I right? Is it third round? The third round. Oh yep, rear naked choke, third round. Now this was a fucking war, right? This was a fucking war. The only reason why Lateez got Kamosi in the third round, Kamosi was tired. He was fucking tired, dude. He was fucking yo. This was a war. Shout out to both fighters, man. Check them out on their social media. The first 2 rounds. Uh, you know what? I gotta say, Kamosi definitely had like the second round. You know what I mean? That third round though, Lateez came in and he was like, "That's it. I'm making sure I win this fight. Making sure I win this fight." Once he got position, he mounted him for the rear naked choke and it was over. I'm not gonna talk about much fights on the UFC because I'm gonna have to get going. Gotta eat something. Oh yeah, the ladies fought very well. Marina Moroz. This was a 3 round unanimous decision. Was it unanimous? Or was it close? Split decision. Okay, split decision. I was trying to remember because I remember that Danielle hurt Marina in the first round, right? And then Marina came back in the second round, and that was a good punch that Taylor landed in the first round. Good strike, and Taylor won the first round, but the second round Marina came back and she won that round, and she won it with different techniques, different attempts, takedowns, and strikes, and that was good. She outworked Danielle Taylor, but in the third round she hurt her. She hurt her in the third round, but Taylor's strong. She's a strong opponent. She weathered the storm and she made it to the third round, and that was a good fight for the ladies. Good fight for the UFC. I think they are strawweight division. Okay, I'm not sure. Yeah, strawweight division. All right, cool. Um, we got this. This was equipment. He was at home. You know what I'm saying, in front of his audience, in front of his hometown, and whew, the first round he rushes Dominic Steele. He hits him with a shot. Like the first few seconds, Steele was dazed. He was puzzled. He was down. You know what I'm saying? And McGee just mounted him, was beating up on him, good ground pound, tried to get the rear naked choke, but didn't. You know. And the second round, he was still a war. But still, I could say won the second round, but it was still a war. McGee was not playing. But in the third round, McGee solidifies that round by just, oh my gosh, a dominant performance, having him up against the rope, still up against the rope, and just, I mean, he was in front of his home crowd. He became Super Saiyan, like I said in my video. In this video right here, I said still went Super Saiyan on him. He did. He definitely went Super Saiyan on him, and he won that fight. I want to skip everything. Oh man, I want to skip everything. Oh yeah. Oh, this was a good one. Oh my god. You want to watch this one again? Trust me. You want to watch this one again. Marcin Tabora versus Victor Pesta. This was a good fight, man. In the first round, I mean, kind of like Pesta was afraid of Tabora, but Tabora is a guy who, when he fights, you know, he does have an intimidating look because he's head faking. He's coming like he does look kind of like he does look kind of crazy when he's coming at you. He's head faking. He's jabbing. He's feinting. You know, he's moving. He has a real intimidating style because he knows what he's doing. You know, he's a very classy fighter, very tricky fighter. He baits. That's exactly what he did. That's exactly what he did. A tricky fighter, and he baited Tabor. Excuse me, Victor. Marcin Tabor baited Victor Pesta for a knockout. In the second round, he was throwing jabs and strikes, punches in the first round. But Pastor really had no answer for them. He was just trying to slip and slide and bob and weave and dodge him. And Marcin Tybura knew he was going to do that. So what he did, he added something up. He added something extra. He threw a 1-2, and Pastor did the same thing he was doing in the first round. And then Tybura knew exactly where his head would be. He threw a high kick to his head, hit that. Oh my gosh, he hit Victor Pesta in the head. Pesta was out cold before his body hit the ground. Right before his body hit the ground. That was very smart by Tabora because those type of knockouts show how intelligent you are. Okay, how aware you are. You know. Um, let's go to the next one. Oh my gosh, this was another good fight. David Tamur defeats Jason Novelli, second round TKO punches. Man, listen, when he did this to Jason Novelli, I knew that David Tamur is the truth. Um, his kickboxing record speaks for itself. His amateur record, kickboxing record speaks for itself. He's good. Okay, he's good. Um, he has a lot of fights that he has that are outside of the UFC, which everybody recognizes him for and knows how good he is. And here, Novelli had no answer for David Tamura's striking game at all. In the first round, I was like, keep your hands up, Novelli. But it wasn't that Novelli couldn't keep his hands up. It's just David Tamur, his offense was so amazing that he was punching through his defense. He had a punch perfect night. He had a strike perfect night against Novelli. Really, if you look at the stats, look at it. After he destroys, dismantles, and wipes out Jason Novelli, he calls out Sage Northcutt. And I believe that David Tamur has the ability to take the super out of Sage Northcutt. Really. It takes a lot of skill, power, and courage to call somebody out. And to say what he said, he said what he's going to do to him, huh? I'm looking forward to Sage Northcutt versus David Tamur. Hashtag that. Um, I like Sage Northcutt, though. You guys know that. I like Sage. But I became a new fan of David Tamur last night. But I do like Sage, and I always like Sage Northcutt. Always. This is another good knockout of the night. Another nice little knockout. Ishihara goes up to 9-2 in this fight against Mauricio Gutierrez. Uh, Gutierrez, Gutierrez tried. He tried to. What was it? What was happening? He was attacking. Okay, I remember now. He was attacking, right? And Ishihara was evading. He was backpedaling. And in the process of Mauricio Gutierrez attacking, he had no defense at all. He was just striking, and he was wide open. So if you slip the jab, or if you slip a punch and you counter with a kick or with a punch, if you hit hard enough or if you're accurate, see, it takes a lot of skill. See what I just said? You have to hit hard enough. You have to be accurate. So timing, precision, power, that all matters in this striking game. Okay, Teruto Teruto Ishihara is so good that when he threw that punch, he dodged one of Gutierrez's punches, right, and countered with the left hook. I think it's here. He countered with the left hook. I should let this thing play. That left hook took Gutierrez out basically. All right. He went towards Gutierrez and started hitting him, and he looked at the referee like, "Hey man, are you gonna stop this? You know what I'm saying? Are you gonna are you gonna step in and stop this?" And he just mounted him and gave him a couple punches. And then finally the referee goes in after the ground pound, you know what I mean? Which was like which it's so funny because Ishihara looked at the referee like, "Hey man," I'm like, don't look at the freaking referee. If you guys were watching it when I was doing the live thing, right? Like, don't look at the referee. Finish this guy. You know what I mean? Oh man, I think it's funny. Um, but that was a good fight. That was a good fight for sure. Cub Swanson's fight was one of the openers, one of the preliminaries, and Swanson is good. Tatsuya Kawajiri is good. In the first round, Oh my goodness! In the first round, Swanson was giving Kawajiri the business in the first round. All right, trust me. Kawajiri came back in the second round, but after being hit so many times clean to the face, it makes you think that Kawajiri doesn't have it anymore. He's still good though, but I mean, unless he can just take them punches, unless his face is made out of steel or something, I don't know. But Cub Swanson and Kawajiri's fight probably was the best fight of the night because of what Swanson did throughout the fight. You know, the third round especially. The judges had it scored. Let me see how the judges had it scored. Unanimous decision 30-27, 30-27, 29-28. Yeah, that's when Kawajiri wanted to fight in the last round. Like Kawajiri wanted to fight in the last round, you know. And that was a good fight. And where is that fight? That heavyweight fight that was like, oh, that's a nice little heavyweight fight. I think Justin Lee just came to the UFC and he determined by unanimous decision. But this heavyweight fight was pretty good because Ledet has brought boxing to the forefront of the heavyweight division in UFC. So we do want to see him fight Big Ben Rothwell. I want to see that. You know what I'm saying? Because Big Ben switches left and right. You know, so I want to see a fight. I want to see somebody who's gonna throw some punches. There's another guy I want to see him fight too. He just fight Big Country Roy Nelson. Oh my goodness, what is his name? What is his name? What is his name? Oh my goodness, how can I forget his name? He just fought Big Country Roy Nelson. Let me look at the chat, see if anybody can help me with that. Oh, everybody's busy today though. Well, let me know in the comments below when I upload this. Who was the last guy Big Country Roy Nelson fought? It's a big black dude, but I can't remember his name. That doesn't sound right, big black dude. But Justin Ledet defeats Chase Sherman unanimous decision, and it was unanimous every round. He just dominated. The first round, the first round he showed a lot of great stand-up game and boxing abilities that man makes me think that maybe he should go do boxing too. You know, Justin, you could do boxing the way you're doing that. You should do both. You should do both. He's gonna make a name in the heavyweight division because we don't have much heavyweights that play like that, that throw like that. Besides Rumble Johnson, well, he's not a heavyweight, he's light heavyweight, right? And who else in light heavyweight division? Or is it? Yeah, Rumble Johnson throws hands like that, but there's no heavyweight, no like official heavyweight that throws hands like that. You know what I mean? I'm looking forward to seeing that. I'm looking forward to definitely seeing Justin Ledet get his chance at some big names in the division. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think about this. I just had to do a little talk, little chat about it. Uh, just thank you for watching. Until next time. Plus, I can live stream, so I'm enjoying the ability to live stream.